Hello friends, this video on microbes in human welfare part 4 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us look at the dough making in case of various other food items. Now as I discussed before also that the dough which is prepared for the bakery items like cakes or breads, the role of microbe in those kind of dough is little different from the dough which is prepared for other food items like idli or dosa. So let us see what happens here. So here the microbe which is involved mainly is lactic acid bacteria. So what is lactic acid bacteria? Now just before some time we were talking about the curdling of milk. And there we saw the role of lactobacillus. So lactobacillus is a type of lactic acid bacteria. So these are those group of bacteria which undergo fermentation and convert sugars, that is lactose, into lactic acid, and that is why all these bacteria are termed as lactic acid bacteria, which is often written as LAB. Now, it is not just lactobacillus which falls under lactic acid bacteria. There are many other bacteria which falls under this group. Now, these same kind of bacteria which help in the process of curdling, they also help in fermenting the idli or dosa batter. That is why you would have seen that once the batter is prepared, that is what do we generally have? What are the ingredients of the batter? Mostly it is rice and a pulse named urad. So these two things are grinded and mixed, and then the batter is left undisturbed for quite some time. So when the batter is left, it is left for the fermentation process to take place. Now, these lactic acid bacteria, so from where do they come? So they are naturally present in the urad seeds, and that is why this urad pulse is used for the preparation of idli or dosa. So since they are naturally present there, as soon as you mix rice with these urad seeds which are both grinded and mixed together, so what happens, the lactic acid bacteria which is present there, they start the process of fermentation. So now, as a result of fermentation, what will be produced? The result is lactic acid will be definitely formed because they are all lactic acid bacteria, but along with lactic acid, carbon dioxide is also formed. So due to the formation of this carbon dioxide, the fluffiness and the puffiness comes in, and that is how the idli batter gets fermented. Now, you would have observed that if the batter is fermented for too long, so if you keep the batter for fermenting for quite some time, maybe for 2 days or so, what happens? The batter turns too sour. Now, why the taste turns sour? That happens due to the formation of lactic acid. Now, if you remember, in the process of curdling also, we saw that due to the formation of lactic acid, the taste of curd is sour. So, if the fermentation happens for a longer period of time, what happens is that the formation of lactic acid, too much lactic acid gets formed, because the longer it is left for fermentation, the larger amount of lactic acid will be formed. Now, the more the amount of lactic acid, the more sour the taste will be. But in this case, we do not want the dough to be very much sour. What we want is the dough should get fermented, that is, it should get that raising effect, the fluffiness, and for that what do we need? We primarily need carbon dioxide. So even if we leave it for fermentation for some time, not for too much of time, so that should be fine. So the fermentation has to happen for a limited period of time. Now another thing to be noted here is, in this case we do not need any starter. For example, in case of the process, while preparing curd, we needed starter. We needed a spoon of curd to be mixed with the milk. Only then curd formation will take place. But in this case we do not need any starter. Now, these examples, this kind of dough making happens not only just in idli or dosa. You would have also observed that there are many other food items which, when prepared, they are left to itself for the kneaded dough is kept aside for some time for rising. For example, if you would have ever had the dish chole bhature. So the way a bhatura is prepared, that also follows the same process. Or if you have ever had naan, so in naan also the kneaded dough is left for some time for the rising effect, and for this rising, the bacteria which are involved, what do? They undergo the process of fermentation. As a result, carbon dioxide is produced, and carbon dioxide is responsible for giving the fluffy appearance and the formation of bubbles. So basically, this is the concept of dough making. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for an easy 4-step learning process absolutely free of cost. Watch video lessons, ask questions, refer notes, and take an online test. Thank you once again.